Baghi Mureed, uh, Disciples in Revolt. So that's our poem for today by Dr. Lama Muhammad Iqbal. So Iqbal, rahmatullah alayh, as we know that he's a philosopher, and that's how we think of him: philosopher, a scholar, poet, But to me, he was more of a revolter. Okay, he was a revolter. So he used to see things around him, and he used to question them. And if there are things that don't make sense to him, or he doesn't get like answers that could satisfy his soul, so he would not just accept them, because everybody else around him is accepting them. So he would just question them. So and this is like the revolt to revolt. It's a prophetic thing. It's a prophetic tradition. All prophets, peace and blessings be upon them, they were like big revolters. So they just, they whatever their societies were doing, they said that, oh, we are not going to do that. So Lama Muhammad Iqbal, he's basically putting this revolter spirit, into the mind of a disciple, a blind follower, of a religious person, a religious leader. Back in our countries, we have, in my country, we have so many, so-called, religious leaders and peers, and those. So, and they have their followers. Okay, and their followers just, blindly follow them. What right, what wrong, they tell them, they don't question them. Okay, so Allama Iqbal is putting his revolter spirit into the mind of this blind follower, and he is actually yeah. So let's see what, how it goes. हमको तो मुयस्सर नहीं मिट्टी का दिया अभी. So this is from a disciple's point of view. So a disciple is talking. Yeah, basically he is, talking to himself that, oh, we haven't got anything. I am a blind follower. I followed this leader, the peer, for so many years, and for centuries maybe we have been following them, but we don't get anything. My life has not changed. My we don't get to live even, honorably. We don't have means to live even. But peer, the religious leader, you get you get everything. Like, you get power, you get money, you get fame, you get control over masses, you get everything. But we don't get anything. We just follow you. शहरी हो देहाती हो मुसलमान है सादा मानिंद बुतां पूछते हैं काबे के बरहमन. So Iqbal then tells that, it's not the problem is not with the Muslim, the common man in my society, in our Pakistani society. It's the problem is not with him. Because the thing is that my common men, my common Muslims, very ordinary Muslims that we see around, walking on roads and everywhere. So these people are very, very simple in their nature. Okay, they are kind-hearted. They are very, very simple. But because of their simplicity, so these leaders, the religious leaders, they had made their idols. They have made themselves, they have presented themselves as like a very, beautiful looking idol, and they have just put their idols right in the middle, and they want their followers to just worship those, idols. Okay, worship their personalities. सो मानिंदे बता पूछते हैं काबे के बरहमन, नजराना नहीं सूद है पैराने हरम का. I mean, they just collect everything. They just drain their followers. They just drain their followers. With from whatever they have. They get their, money, and they get their, time, and they get their. They don't let them think even. They just drain them. they don't stop. These religious leaders, they don't stop. They just get everything out of their disciples. Okay. Oh man. हर हर का ये उसके अंदर है महाजन. I really don't understand this line there, but basically, they have Mahajan in them. These the leaders, the so-called religious leaders, they have a Mahajan in them. So basically, it's a person who lends, loan and then charges interest on it, and and then the poor man who cannot afford to repay that loan, but he just keeps paying interest on that loan, keeps paying interest. And so these are those the religious leaders, so called. They are Mahajans. They have this Mahajan spirit in them. So मीरास में आई है इन्हें मसनद इरशाद. So Iqbal just punches at the face of that, this peer, that has made blind followers in our country. That What does he think? What does he think? What does he think that all this Masnid Irshad, the seat of authority. So what does he think that the seat of authority that is enjoying, does it come from, this is genetically, the way it is in our my country, so it's you know you have peer, and then you just let your son to be the next in line, and so on and so on. So Iqbal says that, what do you think? Do you think that the responsibility, or the authority that you get, does it transfer like genetically, from generations? So he ends with this: Zaghoं ke tasarruf mein akabon ke nasheman. Zagh are vultures. I mean, crows, but a bird, like a vulture kind of crow bird, not. So he says that Aqab, the places that the eagles, the Iqbal's Shaheen, a place that belonged to eagle, that has been occupied by vultures. Okay, that has been occupied by vultures. They do not belong there. The authority, the seat that we have given the blind followers, they have given authority to vultures. They drain them, they eat their dead meat, and and they don't give them in return anything. There is no good coming out of this thing, in this from the peer, and from blindly following somebody. So yeah, so that's the revolter spirit of Allama Muhammad Iqbal, and he wants to put this spirit into the mind of a follower, a blind follower, who just doesn't question, who just nare, who just raise slogans up, behind a religious leader. So he is asking him to think about these things. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.